Today, we're going to have a conversation with regards to investing in Sword and Shield booster boxes. So there's a lot of conversation and discord within the hobby right now if Sword and Shield investments in general are currently plateauing or going down. I've heard a lot of talk about potentially the interest is switching from the Sword and Shield market over to the Scarlet and Violet market, and money isn't really going into the Sword and Shield products as it used to, and therefore prices are flattening out or even going down. So therefore is now the right time to be buying more Sword and Shield investments while they are not increasing up, right? Is it better to buy now while there's a plateau? Should we wait a little bit? Is this plateau even happening? Are the prices even going down? We're going to take a look at all of that data, right? We're going to see what exactly is happening with Sword and Shield products, particularly booster boxes. So for this list, what we're going to be looking at is booster boxes from all the sets that have booster boxes. And then for the special / premium / holiday sets, we'll be looking at elite trainer boxes because most of the time, those are the next big things that you can acquire packs in. So without further ado, let's look into this list and let's see if right now Sword and Shield booster box prices and just prices for sealed in general are plateauing, slowing down, and even dropping. Is the interest fading from investing in Sword and Shield? Let's go ahead and find out right now. All right, we start out this conversation with the Sword and Shield base set booster box. So let's go ahead and take a look at the data. So we have as far back for 1 year as August 14th, $290.45. So that is roughly 1 year ago. And if you look at the general trend of the graph, you can see that it does slowly dip down towards the end of 2023. In fact, it looks like its low is roughly around the March time, $263.54. That's on March 25th. Definitely dips down by quite a lot, and very interestingly too, right? Because it's not like they're reprinting Sword and Shield booster boxes. It's not like they're all of a sudden a lot of stock is becoming available again, right? So that is very interesting. However, as of March, it does increase upwards, which I find that to be very fascinating. So you go up to April 29th, $274.12. It looks like we roughly go back to where it was a year ago by June 10th, which at this point is relatively recently, and its current value is $298.12. So just shy of $300 US. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Rebel Clash. So this was the second set to be coming out for the Sword and Shield set. Obviously, again, we're looking at, the Sword and Shield era, and obviously, again, we're looking at booster boxes. So let's look at some prices. We have 1 year ago, August 14th, $217.68. From there, it looks like it stays the course for roughly until October. Then from November, it does increase where it looks like its high is roughly around January 15th at $231.62. Not bad at all, but then that does seem to be its crux, as then it begins to drop down, kind of meeting its match of where it once was April 8th, $219.61, dips down to $214.53 May 20th, and its current value, although it does look like it could be on the trend upwards, is $218.73. So overall, we do see a bit of a spike towards the middle of its yearly report. However, it did drop back down. It could be on the rise back up though. All right, then up next we have Darkness Ablaze. We have a booster box for this one. Let's look at some prices, the overall trends for the graph. We have August 14th, $152.88. Not bad at all. It looks like from there though, it does drop down pretty drastically, going as low November 13th, $129.32. Then from there, it does rise back up slowly, going as high as March 4th, $151.04, which is almost close to where it once was. It does dip back down though, May 13th, $141.60, and then after that, it rises back up. So this graph is a little more volatile, it seems, where its current value is $150.82. It looks like probably every 3 to 4 months, it has a drastic dip and increase with Darkness Ablaze. I don't know if it's still on the PokemonCenter.com. I think it was either Darkness Ablaze or Vivid Voltage. I could be wrong. One of them is still there, and I think that's affecting its price. I think it's Vivid Voltage actually, but it could be Darkness Ablaze too. However, yeah, I think that could be affecting its price and why it isn't necessarily going up as much. But also, there's just no really exciting hits from this set too. All right, we move on to our first holiday / special / premium set. We have the Champions Path Elite Trainer Box. Champions Path was all the rage when it came out. Of course, it has that double Charizard action, the Charizard VMAX, and the shiny Charizard V. Is that, yeah, I believe it's the shiny Charizard V, right? I could be wrong. Pretty sure that's what it is though, off the top of my head. It's a relatively decent set. It is smaller, and honestly, the pulls in general aren't that amazing. I mean, apart from the Charizards, which really bell curve everything, I guess there isn't a whole lot of substance within this set. But this Elite Trainer box comes with 10 Champions Path booster packs, and it also has one full art promo card featuring Charizard V. But let's look at some values. So we have August 1st. Scroll down a little bit here. August 1st, we have $103.24. Certainly not bad for an Elite Trainer box. It does dip down a little bit though. October 23rd, $92.70. It looks like it rises back up in January to its high of $120.10. Then from there, ultimately does trend downwards, plateaus a little bit around the $100 mark, but it looks like it's currently on the downward trend at a value of $97.52. It spikes up around the winter time, it seems, and then from there it plateaus and even drops down. Now we move into Sword and Shield Vivid Voltage. So we have the Vivid Voltage booster box, and I believe this is the one, at the very least, when I looked a couple weeks ago, it was still available for purchase on the PokemonCenter.com. Vivid Voltage, to be honest with you, at least in my opinion, only really has one really great hit, and it's the Rainbow Chonkachu, the Fat Pikachu VMAX, right? And it's a really nice card, but that's kind of the only thing holding this set together. Other than that, it doesn't really have any chase, and because of that, it probably would be as bad as Darkness Ablaze, right? But let's go ahead and look at some values. We have 1 year ago, $138.69. September 4th, it appears to be its high, $139.54. From there, it does drop down rather drastically. We have December 18th, $125.13. It goes up a bit, and then it does start to peak a little bit. March 18th, $136.20. It's a very rocky and volatile graph. Its current value is $134.09. I would say within the last couple of months, it definitely does take a bit of a dip, and it looks like maybe it might be going up a bit, but it's hard to tell. Then the next product we're going to take a look at is the Shining Fates Elite Trainer Box. So again, we get to our next holiday/premium set. This is Shining Fates. Shining Fates, honestly, similar to Champions Path, only has really Charizard holding it up. If you look at the values of pretty much everything else in this set, it's incredibly low. The only thing that's really seems to be worthwhile to pull or to just purchase would be the Charizard, right? The shiny Charizard VMAX. So let's look at some values. We have August 21st, $41.47. It looks like its low is September 4th, $38.32. And then October 9th, $46.08. Again, a very volatile graph, it seems, with its pricing. Goes up and down quite a lot, maintains around that $45 mark. And I mean, its current value is $46.27. This set has been out for pretty much 3 years at this point. The Elite Trainer box has not moved that much. It's only at $46 USD right now, which, to be honest with you, is not very good. And I think it's just because Shining Fates was printed a lot. And again, it only really has one big chase, and that big chase is easy to buy, right? I mean, might as well just buy that Charizard, then buy out as many ETBs as you can. All right, and then we go into my personal favorite sleeper set. We have Battle Styles, the booster box. I mean, at this point, if people aren't really interested in Battle Styles, I don't know if they ever will be, right? I mean, you have alternate arts. It's not a horrible set. There's decent pulls, but the prices are still super low, right? I mean, who knows what's going to be the future of this card set, but for now, it's definitely not receiving the praise that, say, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, and Fusion Strike are, right? Even though I would probably put it in that caliber. Anyways, let's look at some values. We have August 28th, a year ago, $111.47. From there, dips down a little bit to just over the $100 mark. Stays around there until, say, March 4th, $109.05, and then it does do a pretty drastic increase, hitting a high of, say, $137.87 on June 3rd. Dips down a little bit though, where its current value is $128.79. All right, then up next we have the Chilling Reign booster box. So Chilling Reign obviously is a fantastic set. This one was the first set, I believe, to feature a whole bunch of alternate art cards. Such fantastic artwork and cards in here too. let's look at some values. We have August 21st, 1 year ago, $149.63, so just shy of $150. And then from there, it does appear to slowly increase up, which is pretty great, hitting a high of June 24th, $224.06. Then from there, it does look like it plateaus and even drops down a little bit, but it's currently on a stagnation route of a current value of $211.82. All right, then the heavy hitter, you knew it was coming. We have the Evolving Skies booster box. Evolving Skies needs no introduction if you're familiar with either just Pokemon cards in general or the Sword and Shield era. This is the best, most coveted, most desired Sword and Shield era set in general, right? This one is at the top of the top, and it's not even close. There's no race. There's literally no race in terms of value, no second place that comes close to this set. So let's look at some values. We have 1 year ago, $448.03. That is crazy. And then you have pretty much stays around there until December 18th of 2023, and then it just begins to boom. It goes all the way up to $685.32. Insane. $688, $694, $700 June 17th. This box at $700 USD, and it's only 3 years old. Can you believe that? This box is only 3 years old. Its current value is $691.88. It currently looks like it might even be continuing to trend upwards. All right, then up next we have Pokemon Celebration. So this one is a very interesting one. This is obviously the big 25th anniversary set. Came out in 2021. It seemed like they printed so much celebrations, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. Like, it was almost not impossible to find, but definitely not as easy to find as other sets. Say for example Pokemon Go, right? You have celebrations here. This is the ETB. It comes with 10 celebration 4-card packs, and it's 5 additional Pokemon TCG booster packs as well as a promo card. So you get 15 packs in general, which is definitely not bad. But again, this ETB kind of just, it came and it went, and it's almost really hard to find now. So let's look at some values. We have 1 year ago, $83.23. This graph is incredibly all over the place. It is appearing to be very volatile. It kind of stays around that $80 mark, but does dip down. Goes as far as $71.18 on March 25th, rises back up again to around that $80 mark, and its current value is $81.20. I don't think there's a really big conversation around celebrations, though, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe in, wow, what would be a couple of years for the 30th anniversary, we might see a big resurgence for celebrations. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know if it'll have a crazy value spike like say we see with Evolving Skies. All right, then we go to a contender for number 2, the second most, I should say, appreciated set of the Sword and Shield era. It's a contender for number 2. There's a few that could be number 2, and they're coming up, but yeah, this one is definitely a contender. We have the Fusion Strike booster box. I mean, let's take a look. August 21st, this is just 1 year ago, $144.65. And honestly, it kind of remains around that $50 mark for some time. February 19th, $160. And then from there, it just spikes up, going all the way to $240 as of like May. And then it just remains around that $240 mark ever since. It has plateaued a little bit. It's $237.35. That's its current value. All right, now we're switching over to Brilliant Stars. We have the Brilliant Stars booster box. And until recently, this box was one of the last remaining Sword and Shield products from the Pokemon Center, or at least the last remaining booster boxes from the Pokemon Center that you could purchase, but I believe it's sold out rather quickly. Let's look at some values. We have August 14th, $155.45. That's roughly a year ago. Dips down to $133.90 as of October 30th, and then it does go up $156 December, and it continues to slowly increase from that $160 mark. April 22nd, $177, and then it goes up to $190, $194, and it kind of settles down back to that $180 mark, where this set does appear to be potentially plateauing. All right, then we switch the conversation over to Astral Radiance. Now, it seems like Astral Radiance was not as well received as Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars was kind of revolutionary with the trainer gallery cards, and then a few of the alternate arts were really awesome, and it looks like In some ways, Astral Radiance was living in Brilliant Star's shadow for a bit, and I think the price that we see for this box kind of reflects it. So let's take a look. We have $134 1 year ago. That's how much this box was going for. It goes up to the 140 mark, but dips down to a low of 122 on November 6th. Continues to kind of stay around that 140, 135 area until March 25th, where it goes up to $163. Then from March 25th, goes up to 180 on June 10th. So we do see a slow but steady increase, $180 June 10th. And then say from July onwards, it starts to tip down a little bit to where its current value is $167.43. This one also looks like it has the potential to plateau as well. All right, then we have everybody's favorite set, Pokemon Go. We have the Pokemon Go ETB. This set needs no introduction. This is so wildly printed. There's so many, or at least there was so many Pokemon Go products within circulation. I remember going to Walmart and just seeing the reduced sticker on all of them because nobody wanted them, right? They overprinted it. Nobody was really happy or too thrilled to be opening more Pokemon Go, so they just reduced the stickers, and I think that tarnished its name a little bit, to be honest with you. But this ETB comes with 10 Pokemon Go packs, and then you have a Mewtwo V foiled card. So let's look at some values. We have 1 year ago, $36.86. It does look like it remains around that area, going as low as $33.53 on November 6th. From there, it does climb up, goes to the $40 mark roughly on January 1st, and then kind of stays around the $40 mark February 19th. And it kind of just lingers around 40 bucks, and it looks like its high would have been like around $43.50 July 22nd. Its current value is $40.96, and it looks like it's dipping back down. I really don't think there's much of a future of crazy value for Pokemon Go, unless something happens in Pokemon Go that's absolutely wild, or something happens with the Pokemon TCG. But I just don't see a world or a scenario really where Pokemon Go pops off like the rest of these Sword and Shield products that we have been seeing. All right, we just have a few sets and products left. We go to Lost Origin, which this one also has a booster box. This is the 11th Sword and Shield set, and similar to what we've been talking about with Fusion Strike, this is a contender for number 2. This set really is held up by its best pull, which is a really great pull. It's the Giratina V Alternate Art card. It has other good pulls too, but that one just by a mile, flashes everything, right? So this is what puts it for number 2. There's also some pretty great trainer gallery cards in it as well. Let's look at some values. We have $135.32, and it stays around the 130 mark for a little bit. It staggers, maybe going as high as 140, as low as 125. Eventually we reach January 29th, where it's 146, and then from there it just continues to climb up. We get 176 March 25th, April 22nd, $205. So we've passed the $200 mark on the box in April, and then it goes as high as $222 on May 13th. Dips down a little bit back below the $200 mark, but now it's currently back over at its current value of $215.83. And according to the graph, it does look like it might plateau a little bit, but I don't think it's anything crazy. All right, then we have the very last set to feature a booster box from the Sword and Shield era with the Silver Tempest booster box. This one maybe is still available on the PokemonCenter.com. I'm not sure. It might be sold out by now. This is like the last Sword and Shield set that you actually still see in Scarlet and Violet products that are being released to this day. I mean, I don't know if really anymore, but for a long while, this was it, right? This was what you would get. So let's look at some values. We have $125 1 year ago. Honestly makes sense. Again, I feel like it was so rampant to find Silver Tempest. Went as low as $111.68 on November 13th area. Then it does increase a little bit, 130 area. It's a very volatile beginning of its year. 140 goes down to 130, and then it increases to 162 June 17th, and its current value is $164.38. It looks like it might be ranging around the $160 mark for a little bit. We'll see. It's had a lot of ups and downs within the last couple of months, but again, nothing too crazy where it'll go 2 above 160 or 2 below 160. But when this box sells out, or when this set sells out, I should say, on shelves for packs, Costco bundles, boxes, etc., then we might see this set receive more value. All right, and the very last product we're going to take a look at today is the Crown Zenith Elite Trainer Box. So admittedly, I'm pretty sure there are other products of Crown Zenith that is doing better than the ETB and that technically hold more packs and would be better investments, like the Zacian and Zamazenta shiny premium collection boxes or whatever they're called. Those have, I believe, 11 packs, and they kind of just hold a better value. They fetch a better value, but we're just going to stick with the ETBs for this scenario. Let's go ahead and take a look. So 1 year ago, we had $58.99, so just shy of that $60 mark. It looks like that is its high, as it does sort of go down. It was $55 around for a little bit. Dips as low as $40 though on November 13th. Dips as low as even $38 December 17th, and it kind of remains around that $40 mark for some time. Goes back up though to the $50 mark, and its current value today is $50.88. I still see Crown Zenith a lot on store shelves, on my local card store, etc. It's going to be a little bit probably before Crown Zenith is totally flushed out. I'm pretty sure there's even like a Sam's Club new exclusive Crown Zenith set that's being released. Until Crown Zenith is dead and gone and off shelves, I think it's still going to remain a lower value. Plus, it's not a particularly difficult set to pull cards, and there's really only 4 cards that are very, very enticing. At least, sorry, there's only four cards that hold a really great value, but the pulls in general are really great. All right, so we just took a look at all of the booster boxes for the main sets for the Sword and Shield era, and all of the Elite Trainer boxes for the premiums / special holiday sets, etc. So what can we gather from this data? Are Sword and Shield boxes truly plateauing, going down? Is the interest fading from Sword and Shield? Well, I'm going to say for now, no. I mean, the market still looks relatively healthy. The prices, some of them have plateaued, but that's normal, right? I mean, it's not like there's always going to be a steady increase. If we look at the graphs, even as far as a year ago, there's a lot of volatility, right? There's times when things have a drastic spike up. There's times when things just stay the same price for a while, and there's times when things go down, right? I don't think Sword and Shield is going to freeze all of the value on everything and that's it, right? I think there's a bit of a pause, and yes, the deeper we go into the Scarlet and Violet era and the harder it is to find and acquire products for the Sword and Shield era, people are turning their heads towards Scarlet and Violet, right? The cards are amazing. The sets in general are slept on, right? Nobody was really appreciating the Scarlet and Violet era for quite some time until probably Twilight Masquerade came out, and things just kind of exploded with value for that set. I don't think anybody really truly cared too much about what was happening, or some people did for sure, but a lot of other collectors in the space, they were still focused on Sword and Shield, right? 151 brought people in, Twilight Masquerade brought people in, and we have a bunch of really awesome sets lined up, and I think just slowly more heads are turning towards the Sword and Shield, the Scarlet and Violet era, and I think that's why less attention is being put on the Sword and Shield era. However, if prices are truly stagnating right now and not continuing to increase, it could be a great time to pick up Sword and Shield products. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I've purchased some more Crowns in tins. I have some 3-pack blisters of Brilliant Stars that I picked up recently, right? I'm not making big acquisitions, right? I'm not acquiring a lot of big products, at least at the moment. Just kind of what I can find a good deal on, what's Sword and Shield, because shortly and soon, that stuff's all going to be sold out, right? So that's just my thinking. No, I don't think the market is dying on the Sword and Shield era, the Sword and Shield products. I think maybe, if anything, they're just stagnating, but I think soon enough they will continue to go up. That's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.